The Aztec civilization, also known as the Mexica, emerged in the central region of modern-day Mexico in the early 14th century. Their capital city, Tenochtitlan, was founded in 1325 on an island in Lake Texcoco. The location was strategically chosen based on a prophecy that directed the Mexica to settle where they saw an eagle perched on a cactus with a snake in its beak, a symbol now central to Mexico's national identity. The geography of the Valley of Mexico, with fertile lands and abundant water, supported agriculture and allowed the civilization to flourish despite being in a relatively small area. Society and social structure. Aztec society was highly structured and hierarchical. At the top of the social pyramid was the emperor, Huitlacoani, who held both political and religious authority. Nobles, known as Papilton, served as government officials, military leaders, and priests. Below them were the Maeshuilton, or commoners, who worked as farmers, artisans, and traders. The lowest class included slaves, often prisoners of war or people who had failed to repay debts. Social mobility was possible, particularly through achievements in warfare, military service, or skill in specialized crafts. Political system. The Aztec political system was a combination of monarchy and empire, governed by the emperor and a council of nobles. Tenochtitlan was the dominant city-state in a triple alliance with Texcoco and Tlacopan, which enabled them to expand control over much of central Mexico. Conquered regions were required to pay tribute in the form of goods such as food, textiles, gold, and labor. Although conquered peoples retained some autonomy, they were heavily taxed and required to provide military support, strengthening the central power of the Aztec rulers. Religion and beliefs. Religion was central to Aztec life, influencing politics, education, and daily routines. They were polytheistic, worshipping a pantheon of gods, the most important being Huitzilopochtli, the god of sun and war, and Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent associated with wisdom and creation. Rituals, including human sacrifices, were performed to appease the gods and ensure cosmic balance. These sacrifices were often conducted on grand pyramids, such as the Templo Mayor in Tenochtitlan, and were believed to sustain the sun and prevent the end of the world. Religious festivals punctuated the calendar and included music, dance, and elaborate ceremonies. Economy and trade. The Aztec economy was diverse, relying on agriculture, tribute, and trade. Chinampas, or floating gardens, were an innovative farming technique that allowed the cultivation of crops like maize, beans, squash, and chilies on shallow lake beds, greatly increasing food production. Markets were central to city life. The Tlatelolco market in Tenochtitlan was one of the largest in the world, offering goods such as cacao, textiles, pottery, and obsidian tools. Trade routes connected distant regions, facilitating the exchange of luxury items, such as jade, gold, and exotic feathers, reinforcing both economic prosperity and cultural connections. Achievements and technology. The Aztecs made significant advances in engineering, astronomy, and medicine. They built causeways, canals, and aqueducts to manage water in Tenochtitlan, demonstrating remarkable urban planning. Their knowledge of astronomy allowed them to develop a solar calendar of 365 days and a ritual calendar of 260 days. Skilled artisans created intricate jewelry, pottery, and codices illustrated manuscripts that recorded historical events, religious practices, and daily life. Although they did not use the wheel for practical transport, their societal organization and labor systems enabled the construction of massive temples, palaces, and causeways. Warfare and conquest. Warfare was integral to Aztec society, both for expansion and religious purposes. The Aztecs trained elite warriors, including the jaguar and eagle warriors, to capture enemies for sacrifice and assert dominance over neighboring city-states. Their military strategies combined superior numbers, disciplined formations, and alliances with other groups. Conquest brought wealth through tribute and helped maintain social order, while military success elevated leaders and warriors within society. Warfare was thus both a practical and spiritual aspect of Aztec civilization. Decline and fall. The Aztec Empire reached its peak in the early 16th century but fell swiftly to Spanish conquistadors led by Hernán Cortés in 1521. The Spanish exploited political rivalries among indigenous groups, introduced deadly diseases like smallpox, and leveraged superior weaponry to defeat the Aztecs. The fall of Tenochtitlan marked the collapse of their civilization, but the cultural legacy of the Aztecs survived through language, art, cuisine, and traditions that continue to influence Mexican identity today. Legacy. Despite their fall, the Aztecs left an enduring legacy. Their innovations in agriculture, engineering, and governance influenced later societies. Many modern Mexican customs, foods, and festivals trace back to Aztec culture. The Nahuatl language, spoken by the Aztecs, continues to be used by indigenous communities. Symbols such as the eagle and cactus remain central to national pride, and the memory of their complex society continues to fascinate historians and the general public alike.